I have been in the recruitment industry for the past 10 years, and in those 10 years, I've interviewed over 1,000 candidates looking to be hired by our clients for managerial and other leadership positions. And from where I sit, I can tell you that one of the biggest decisions you make is hiring the right manager. Why? Because managers can make or break a company. The success of the business, it really depends on these managers or the people in the leadership position. And so it's very important that you get it right when it comes to hiring these senior level professionals. And that is why today I've dedicated this video into us discussing the top qualities you should look for when you're hiring a manager. And I'm sure you've heard of also the statement that people don't leave their jobs, they leave their managers. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's the relationships that matter in the office. And it's the managers that are able to establish an organizational culture. So whenever you see a positive culture, it's because the manager is doing the right thing. And when you see a toxic workplace, again, look at the manager. That's the starting point. I'm also sure you are familiar with this term of turnaround managers. When companies are not doing well, there are these managers they call, and we all know that if we hear a certain person has now joined this organization, these are going to change. A good example is Polycarp Igade. There's also this gentleman who used to work for KWS. His name is Julius Kipngetich. So these are people who, when you hear their names, it's synonymous with good performance. It's synonymous with them turning around the fortune of the organization. So you can see why really having the right manager on board can really add value, especially if you have the right person to the organization. And also think of managers who are able to bring the staff together, even the community and other stakeholders. A good example that comes to my mind is the late CEO of Safaricom, Bob Corimo. Bob Corimo, he never behaved as your typical CEO. He was outgoing. One day you see his videos in a matatu. The other days he's playing jazz. The other days he's in the ghetto interacting with the people from the slums. And he's someone who really inspired a lot of trust and a lot of positivity. And Safaricom really grew. And if you compare him to Michael Joseph, who was more known for being, a hands-on, tough manager, we got to see the softer side of a Safaricom CEO. And you and I, as a customer, we were able to identify and connect with that business. And no wonder Safaricom has done so well when he was the CEO. So having looked at what a manager can do for your business, then it's very important for you to get the right person on board. And before I share with you the top qualities you should look for when you're hiring your next manager, is to know that management and leadership is a skill. Simply because someone is good at their job, don't just promote them. And if you're thinking of promoting them, please take them through training. And you can even contact me, and we do offer training on leadership and management skills. Because there are a lot of times I also see this situation where an employee is really good at their job, they're the best accountant, or they're the best sales executive person, but it doesn't mean they're ready to supervise other people. So the best thing to do is that you impact them with this skill. You make sure they are trained for the job. And the best part about it is leadership and management, it's a skill that someone can learn, they can practice and perfect. So don't just look at someone on what they are currently doing and think that they are good fit. No, understand that you have to take them through a process. So having understood that, then what are these top qualities you should pay attention to? So whenever we are recruiting for clients, this is what I normally look for. Number one, is this person emotionally stable? Why? Because as opposed to dealing with an equipment, as opposed to dealing with a gadget, human beings are not predictable. And as a manager, you need a manager who is emotionally intelligent. Someone who can be able to handle their own emotions. And I'm not saying you be perfect. Once in a while, you do get angry, things do get out of hand. But that you cannot be that way all the time as a manager. So the first quality is someone who's emotionally intelligent. They are self-aware, they are stable. The second skill is they should have great communication skills. Why? Because as a manager, how are you going to communicate the goals, the vision, the mission, the targets of the organization? So if you are there watching this video and you're aspiring to be a manager or even a leader, I would highly encourage you, go for a public speaking class. If confidence is an issue, if you can't stand in front of people and articulate your ideas and sell your ideas. So great communication and presentation skill is an important quality when you're hiring a manager. You must also look for someone who's decisive. And what I mean by decisive is someone who's able to reach a decision. You don't want someone who Monday to the other Monday, they are thinking over, they are second guessing themselves. And as we all know, we don't always get it right when it comes to the decision. But you want someone who's a doer, not someone who's a talker. So someone who's a talker, you meet with them, they'll convince you of the way they are going to do things, but the next time you're having the meeting, they haven't done. So you'd rather have someone who makes mistakes, but they are moving from point A to point B. Another key quality I look for is, do they understand the big picture? Do they understand the business strategy? Why? Because these are the people we are looking to implement on these business strategies. So an effective manager is the one who's able to see the big picture. They're able to look at the small things that you, as the CEO or director, you have not even considered, and they're able to connect the dots. And they can even be able to guide you, advise you. They can be able to tell you, oh, if we take this direction that you are suggesting, these are the pitfalls, these are the obstacles I see. So you can even rely on this person on advice. I would also encourage you that you look for someone who's a team player. And what do I mean by a team player? Team player is someone who's able to bring people together, and not someone who is there coming up with crumbs. They're the source of gossip. A manager is like a president. Immediately a politician becomes a president, he stops being the leader of a particular political party, and now he has to think about the whole country. And whether there are people who voted for him or not, he is also their president, and he must behave the same way. So it's the same case when we are talking about a manager being a team player. Even if there are some people he favors or he likes interacting with, he should behave like a parent or a president and be able to bring people together. On to my sixth point, look for someone who has problem-solving skills. And I'm not saying they focus on the problem. However, they should be able to figure out that here we have an issue and immediately start looking for answers. So again, problem-solving skill is it's an equivalent of someone who's decisive and who has great communication skills. Because you don't want someone also who's able to see problems and they don't do anything about it. And lastly, look for someone who's able to lead by example. Reason being, the employees, these are adults. Anyone we are hiring is over 18 years of age. So they'll be looking more at what the manager does, not what the manager says. Adults, that's the way we operate. So you can come and tell people to behave in a certain way, but they always be asking themselves, you yourself, do you keep your promises? Are you good with customers? Are you good with time management? So if you're not, why are you asking us to do the same? So just like back at home, if you as a parent, especially fathers, you come back home, you are drunk, you are staggering. Now, can you ever tell that child that drinking alcohol is a bad idea? You can try and tell them that, but the reality is they are learning from you. So it's the same case. A manager and a more effective manager should be able to lead by example. People should look at them and say, well, I don't agree with this man or woman, and sometimes we conflict, but he's leading by example. Those are the top qualities that every manager should have. And I know what I have done is state them. I didn't go into much details. So what happens is I do offer leadership course where you can come and we can interact, and I'll be able to share my experiences, in terms of hiring and in terms of even what does it take to get to that next level of management skills. So there'll be a link below, with more details about leadership course and even on leadership coaching if you'd prefer a one-on-one session. Is there any other quality that I've forgotten? What qualities have you admired in your current or former manager that you feel need to be included here? So do leave a comment below and I'll have a look at it, and who knows, I might include that in the next video. Thank you for watching.